Cub Scouters. December. Yeah, it's December. Unbelievable. I have about 20 more things to do before the end of the year in my Cub Scout pack, and it's December, and it's the second week. I'm in trouble. But we're going to talk about positive attitude, because you know what? I can still do it. I got all the time in the world. I've got the energy of a young guy. I can do it, right? So here we go. So, pessimist sees a difficulty in every opportunity. Gosh, I know people like that. I've been in people like that. But an opportunist, an optimist, sees the opportunity in every difficulty. Okay, now all of us have had people say that to us, and we want to sort of smack them. You know, we've had that moment. We all have, haven't we? There's days when you just things are just not going right. And they're just, hey, turn that frown upside down. This is just an opportunity for us to succeed and excel. And you're just like, you can shut up anytime.
Yeah, that right now, Brian.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's the way up. Sorry. But, you know, that's the way life is. There are highs and there are lows. But in scouting, what we're asking the boys to do is, even when you're in the lows, you got to remember that things are they're truly going to turn around. With faith, energy, and friends, there are lots of opportunities. And that's what we're trying to teach. So happiness is not merely pleasure, nor the outcome of wealth. The result of active work rather than passive enjoyment of pleasure. I like Lord Baden-Powell's talk here because this is something that we as leaders see a very small amount in boys' lives. There's just not a will to put a lot of work to things. We've got a generation, and truthfully, you know, even a couple of later generations, of folks who don't believe in putting as much work as they need to. But Baden-Powell is basically saying the true pleasure is putting the work into it and seeing the fruits of your labor. As we give our scouts additional skills and confidence, those things come more naturally. So let's keep that in mind. Vision of the scouts. I put this up every time because if you don't have an idea of where an organization or your unit is going, you really don't know when you get there, or even why you're going there. Prepare every eligible youth in America to become a responsible participating citizen and a leader who is guided by the Scout of the Law. That is the vision of Scouting. And the aims: character development, citizenship training, and personal fitness. Character development is right in line with positive attitude and perseverance and trustworthiness and all these other things. These are the things that we're presenting for the boys, and we want to emulate ourselves, and we want these young men to grow up to have. This is what I want my sons to absolutely, positively demonstrate. Good work ethic, trustful, being incredibly trustworthy, and someone of honor that if they say they're going to help out somebody, are they going to do it? They can be counted on. Positive attitude is right up there with it. So, anybody new to Roundtable tonight? Nobody? Viewer? Not a single person? I'm so disappointed. That's so cool. Okay. I guess I'll just defer it to January and use it then on somebody else. All right, moving on. No, I can't move on. We got to do a couple of things. I'm not going to do the main one, the really cool one. We got to do something else.
It's only my second time, so.
Oh, well, I tell you what. I've got plenty of these. We'll do some of these here. Each person take one of these. Take one. Well, I got lots of these. I think I can get almost everybody. It's such a light night tonight. Yeah, we can do that. Everybody. Maybe not quite everybody. Well, almost like it. Almost. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Now, let me tell you something about Cub Scouts. The one thing that Cub Scouts, for some reason, that I love to death are incredibly corny jokes. My goodness, the cornier, the better. Something that the parents, actually causes physical pain. Oh! It's that, the boys find it incredibly funny. So, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to start by saying, I'm positive, and then I'm going to point to the first person. And as soon as you read yours, groaner, and everyone groans, then you'll say, I'm positive, and we'll move on to the next person. So you ready? I'm positive.
A will is a dead giveaway. I'm positive.
A chicken crossing the road is poultry in motion.
Oh.
positive.
Go ahead, Pat.
A successful diet is the triumph of mind over the platter.
I'm positive. In a democracy, your vote counts. In feudalism, your count votes. I'm positive.
If you have corduroy pillows, you can always make headlines. I am positive.
A boiled egg in the morning is hard to beat. I'm positive.
You're stuck with your debt if you can't budget. I'm positive.
Reading while sunbathing makes you well read. I'm positive.
A gossip is someone with a great sense of rumor. I'm positive.
When two egotists meet, it's an eye for an eye.
Yes. Groaners upon groaners. Think about all the stories. Think of, you guys read Boy's Life? At the very end, you know, the jokes. When I was a kid, there was only 3 things that I always looked for in Boy's Life. Number 1, I always went immediately to the cartoon area, which was talking about Scouts in Action. That was my favorite. Absolutely my favorite. And every single time, I'd read it a dozen times, because as a boy, I felt that was preparing me for what was going to happen in case that exact same situation. Another thing I always went to read is I always went to read the letters to, Gus. I would read the letters there from other boys that wrote in about things that had happened to them on a camping trip, because those were always really cool. And then lastly was always the last page. And the last page was made up of some of the worst jokes ever. They truly were. Let me tell you what, you pull a couple of these things up and you have an adult leader come in here as the straight man, as the funny man with you, or the cubmaster as the straight man, and all of a sudden the boys look forward to it like, there's going to be another joke. I know there is. I know. These are the kind of funny things they look forward to. And truthfully, the boys will go home saying it 50 times, and the parents will come back later to you and say, please, please stop. Please stop. And my kids do this all the time. They will say over and over and over the exact same thing until you, as an adult, will say it back to them just to get them to be quiet. So it's a lot of fun stuff. And those are the kind of things that boys live for. All right, so we all know the Cub Scout sign is 2 fingers all the way up, right? All the way up. I tell you what, I say this all the time, and I still got boys here and here and here and over here. It's 2 fingers all the way up. The way I remind my boys is it's the ears of the wolf, who's trying to hear what's going on. Ooh, they heard something. They got their ears up and they're listening. And that's what I'm telling them too. When the sign of the leader goes up, not yelling signs up, just 2 fingers up. I'm just standing there until they all be quiet. The older boys lead by going, hey, shh, shh, shh. And it's great because you watch the nice learning that's going on here rather than an adult yelling saying it's time to be quiet. All right, everyone please rise. Let's do the Cub Scout promise. Cub Scout sign. I, Brian Kale, promise to do my best, to do my duty to God and my country, to help other people, and to obey the law of the pack. Law of the pack? Cub Scout follows the Kale. The Cub Scout helps the pack go. The pack helps the Cub Scout grow. The Cub Scout gives goodwill. 2. Now, I say it every single meeting, roundtable, and I'll say it again. It's okay to have the words posted somewhere. It's okay. It's not a crutch. It's about having the boys and the adults, your leaders and your parents, know what the words are and be able to say it along. It's okay. It's a promise that you want them to understand, and if they're struggling to remember the words, they're not worrying about what they're promising. They're just struggling, or they're mumbling, or they're acting like they don't know what they're doing. Give them an opportunity. It's okay. It's not a crutch. All right, positive attitude, one of the 12 core values, right in the middle there. I was talking to someone just a little while before the meeting that positive attitude, in my opinion, is one of the 2 or 3 which are the absolute positively easiest ones to teach a boy. Truthfully, most boys lean towards positive attitude. Whether or not we could be pessimistic and say, well, life hadn't beat them down yet. or possibly because they don't believe there are limits. Boys, especially 6 through 10 or 11 years old, have huge dreams, and they haven't quite got that little inner voice like you and I have. They'll go, well, I could do that, but then this will happen, but then I'll have to overcome this, and then, oh, I'm not going to do it now. I suffer from that greatly. A boy 6 to 11 believes that he can build. My son, for life of me, believes that he can go out, and he's gotten interested in Doctor Who. He believes he can build a TARDIS right now and actually go back in time. I can give him a million reasons why he can't, but in his mind, he can do it if he just tries hard. Don't kill that. That is amazing capability. A positive attitude just comes so naturally to our kids. But we need to make them understand that there are a lot of situations where, for just a moment, it's so easy to lean the other way. We just lost the game. Ah, this sucks. And you messed it up for us. No. Sportsmanship. Positive attitude. Oh, I'll never understand this. I'll never learn this. Perseverance. Positive attitude. All these opportunities are there. So we're just giving them ways to show it. Positive attitude goes with a scout is cheerful. Right? Pretty much. It's not a bad stretch. A scout is cheerful. Baden-Powell believed, and I think the quote actually says, that a scout whistles at all times. Which I find interesting, because if you're whistling all the time, it's really hard to talk and do anything else. But apparently Baden-Powell felt they were whistling all the time. And it's all about having that positive outlook. Knowing that things are going to improve, and even if things are bad right now, I can make them better. And that's what we want to teach. We need to make sure that we're exciting the boys about Boy Scouts. So we're still pointing out the Scout Law. Which point? But why? Cub Scouts is moving to the Scout Oath and Law on May 2015. Okay, a lot of people are afraid of that. Wait a minute. There's a lot of big words in the Scout Oath and Law. The boys aren't going to understand that. That's what we're there for. We're there to help them. There are a lot of big words in our core values too. I mean, there's some really big words in there. If I go to my son and talk about my 8-year-old and say perseverance, he just looks at me. And I say, you're willing to work hard. Oh, try again. Okay. Doesn't quite understand perseverance. Okay, God is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind. All those words they understand. Cheerful, thrifty. Okay, thrifty might have to give them a little help with. Thrifty, brave. I know that one. Clean, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. Those are the words they know. It's not that scary. It's just different. Why are we going to the Scout Oath and Law and the Cub Scouts? Because it's to further align the program. Cub Scouting is about preparing boys for Boy Scouts. And over time they've decided that the continuation of a Cub Scout promise and a Scout Law of the Pack is not helping us align those. Going and talking to the boys about the fact that they are promising to live by the Scout Oath and Law and talk about it early on does. So that's what we're doing. So May 2015, that's where we're at. All right, so positive attitude. Being cheerful. Wow, yeah, there's a great definition. Finding the best in all situations. Right. We have the boys doing tons and tons of activities. And one of the best things about scouting is a lot of the activities that we do, the main purpose for them is for them to experience things and not always succeed. We want them to do their best at all times. Not be the best, but do their best. And a lot of activities, it doesn't work out the first time. And that's okay. Scouting is a great organization for the fact of the matter is, failure is not final. We can find a better way. Have your friends, you called in to see if your friends can help you? Have you thought about a different way to approach it? Have you asked for help from the leaders? All these different resources. That's the kind of skill set that we really want these boys to learn. It's not about being an island unto yourself. So we're getting all these opportunities to learn and be positive about it. You know what? That didn't work this time, but I think that I can do this. I can do this if we do this, this, and okay, let me try it again. Well, that didn't quite work, but if I do this, it'll work. That positive attitude is what we're looking for, and it is infectious. If you've got a couple of people in the crew that are negative, just as infectious. That kind of level of pessimism is just like a virus. So we're looking to reinforce positive attitude, and that applies to us, the leaders, and to the parents. If you've got a parent that's helping your den and like, oh, they'll never do this.
He's freaking out.
You're just done. They have all of a sudden say, you will never do this. The first thing if my son say, oh, I can't ever do that. What is, I say to them, what does Dad tell you? Dad says, if you say you can't, you won't. If you say you can, or maybe. This is close. Not quite right. If you say you can't, you're right. You're defeated before you start. If you say you can, you at least give yourself a shot. Some things in life you just can't do. That's okay. But if you start by saying I can't, you won't. You've already defeated yourself. So we want to make sure that we are emulating that as well. We're cheerful, okay, optimistic, okay. But there's other things here too. We think good thoughts. We think good thoughts about other people. We look for their positives, their skills, their things of what makes them special. Okay, and everyone's like, oh, here we go. Making people special. They always want to look for what makes people special. Everyone is special. Not in the everyone gets participant medal special. This is in the fact that absolutely every single person has something of value that really differentiates themselves. Whether they are the shy little boy or whether they are the thespian wannabe kid who's out there doing Hamlet's soliloquy. You've got an amazing set of skills, thoughts, capabilities, hopes, dreams, aspirations, potential. Tons of them. Everyone is special, and they all do have an amazing thing. But it's also about believing in yourself, too. It is very easy to quickly not believe in yourself if you don't have anyone else that will, every once in a while, say that they believe in you. As adults, we constantly have to find it within ourselves to pull out there to continue to believe in ourselves. But we do get down on ourselves. And sometimes you need somebody to, you know what? You can do this. And sometimes the simplest little comment, simplest little moment of someone believing in you is the spark you need to reignite the inner character that says, you know what? You're right. I can do this. That's what we're doing as Cub Scout leaders. We are allowing the boys to try different things, to possibly fail, yep, to get back up, dust themselves off, and say, you know what? I know you can do this. We're there to give them that little extra spark. And we hope that they're getting that at their home, and home as well, and at school, and everywhere else. But at the very least, we can give them that. I like Henry Ford. When everything seems to be going against you, remember that the airplane takes off against the wind, not with it. That is a great quote. And I really never thought about it until I read it, but it's true. You cannot, taking off, with an airplane, you want to go against the wind because you need it for the lift. You need the adversity to buoy up, to take you up. The same thing in life. Success begets success, but no true life lessons are learned without failure. Right? Every single one of us can say without a shadow of a doubt that our mom told us that the stove is hot. But every single one of us, without a shadow of a doubt, can say that at one time or another we've touched the stove with our hand when we knew it was hot. And we learn, truthfully, a lot more by the touching it with our hand. You let your brother know, okay? So apparently you were a leader at a very young age. So, these kind of things are life lessons. Positive attitude is a great opportunity to leverage the character connections too. I talk about the character connections all the time, and the fact, do not skip them. It's very tempting as a den leader or as a, sometimes, whether you're a pack leader or whatever, to skip the character connections. So like, oh, this is talking. The boys don't want to talk. They want to do. Take the moment, ask the leading questions. This is really where the rubber hits the road and where the true, it's extra fertilizer for what you're planting. This comes in there and lets them talk about, what it means to learn from a mistake. What is it time, when you've seen positive attitude make a difference? Maybe it's just a simple story as a game that was going poorly, and then all of a sudden one player comes up there and with a little bit extra oomph of positive attitude, and everyone sees it and goes, yeah, you're right, we can do this. And they win the game. It could be anything. But all boys have seen examples of this. And they are dying to tell you their stories. Hard part is to keep them on target. They'll meander all over the place. But that's okay too, because they're learning to talk to adults and to groups, which is also a great skill, being comfortable talking. So get them involved. Ask Leading the Wing questions. Edge. Okay, so explain, demonstrate, guide, and enable. Positive attitude, I'm hoping that you are demonstrating at all times, at the very least. Explaining it, yes, you probably don't do a whole lot of direct explanation of positive attitude because truthfully it's one of those weird conversations as adult, like we get tons of people talk about positive attitude in our workplace and we just look at them like they have two heads. Yes, we know a positive attitude. Yes, I understand. Yes, okay. But kids need to have that talk. We need to have a talk with them about what positive attitude does, how it affects others, how it affects you. And then from there we're demonstrating all the time. So what about the guide and enabling part? Guiding and enabling is truly where they're learning and they're able to take that skill and use it in everyday life. You want to give them plenty of opportunities to have, a situation, whether it be a project or whether it be a game or whatever the case may be, and provide them opportunities to see how the positive attitude makes the difference of what's going on. And then finally enabling them, allowing them to come up with situations and demonstrate the positive attitude. Because that is truly when they're seeing the true value of that positive attitude. All right, so how about leadership? Positive attitude and leadership. Well, those don't go together. Sure they do. Okay? We have tons and tons of boys out there. Tons of types. Like I said, we've got the incredibly shy one. They got the one who has an attention span of a fruit fly. We have those who absolutely wants to touch everything. We have those who are the know-it-all. We have them all, right? But through it all, positive attitude is about leadership. Believing that I can help. I can show, I can give confidence and help others grow. When you have a shy child that is put into an assistant dinner or a dinner position and then they, by positive attitude, show leadership skills there, they grow in confidence. Have boys that are already confident in an assistant dinner or position and they're helping another child be at dinner and learn leadership skills there, they're learning as well. All these require positive attitude. It boosts their image of themselves, which is a valuable lesson. All right. Here's a very cool game. I showed this last year, and I thought, I hate repeating too much stuff, but I want to bring this back up because I believe that this is a great activity. It's called the Power of Positive Words. And so what it is that you have cardstock posters on tables. You have one cardstock poster per child that's going to be in your pack game or dinner meeting or whatever the meeting is. Okay? You let the families know beforehand that they should bring a picture of the child. Whatever picture. Probably not too embarrassing. I'm thinking the baby on the bear rug is probably not the best way to go. But something of them relatively nowish. And so they bring this picture, and then you're instructing everyone to go around and write something positive, specific or positive, about each boy on the cardstock. So by the end of the meeting, every single person has gone by and written something on the card about that particular boy. So every single card, like let's say you have 20 boys. So 20 families, so there's 20 things written on every single one of the cardstocks that's specific about that boy. So he has a picture of himself on the cardstock and all these comments on there about him. Amazing. Because truthfully, a lot of boys, they don't think in those terms. They remember the last negative term they heard. Or the last negative thing that happened at school. Or the fact that they dropped a dish when they were helping mom dry dishes. Or that's what they're remembering. These are important things because it really does give them an amazing opportunity to see the positive that what other people see of them. It's like looking in a really cool mirror. So throughout the meeting, you can have these presented and maybe posted around the room on the wall. And maybe every once in a while a leader or someone can come and say, hey, this is so-and-so. You know what? He truly is a great singer. Or whatever specifically they say. They could be incredibly specific, or they could even be general. I mean, you know, you've got boys that say, you know, that are just always so helpful. There are certain boys in my pack that I absolutely know without a shadow of a doubt that if I need help with anything, these are my guys. They hustle up even before I think I need the help. There are those out there who I know are great athletes. I know some that are amazingly, you know, kind and considerate of people who are weaker than they are. Great with little kids. Have a huge heart for giving. Tons of great things. All of these things can be said. You know, like for instance, I'm proud of you. I mean, that's almost always the mom. I'm proud of you. But you know what? Doesn't it make you feel good when you see that written down? Doesn't matter what, if you know it's your mom or not. I'm proud of you. Makes you feel really good. These are great opportunities, and then the boy takes the poster board home with his picture and the comments about him at home. And he has this amazing opportunity to see what other people think. It is very powerful. And I think this is a great one. This was off a reference from 2011 Baloo's Bugle. Great opportunity. Baloo's Bugle is published every month. I recommend looking at it. If you just Google Baloo's Bugle, there's a gentleman out, I think he's in New Mexico, that publishes this every month, and it has tons and tons of activities, crafts, songs, great stories about historical figures that fit with the core values. Wonderful asset. I hate to say I plagiarized from it a lot because he does such amazing work, and he's been doing it for 20 years. So, but this is exactly one of those kind of things. All right, we talked about Friends of Scouting. For Cub Scouts, here's what I want you to remember. It is about positive attitude. There is a faith and hope in the Friends of Scouting contribution. It goes out to make sure that no boy is left behind who wants to go to camp. It's there to make sure that every adult is properly background checked so that we keep our boys safe. It is about making sure that all the camps that they go to are properly stocked with good equipment. It's all these kind of things. You're like, well, we already pay dues. Yeah, you did. But the dues stay with your pack. Except for the $24 that is the national membership that goes. But that goes for a national organization and it's whatever they're doing with it. And the $1 insurance. Everything else goes away. The council gets nothing of that. Friends of Scouting is what keeps the council going. That and giving, that people's giving from wills, trusts, and other donations, and corporate donations. That's where it comes from. That's how Scouting runs. Friends of Scouting is part of that. Explaining to parents that it's all about, you know, they go, well, we already pay for summer camp. Yeah, you do. But you don't pay enough to keep the camp going. And replace the 25 BB guns that get shot, you know, 1 billion times by the boys and dropped and beat and whatever. This is how equipment gets, you know, replaced. It is a major resource. Not just a, oh, somebody out with their hands for more money. So explain it to your families. It's an important thing. And as a Friends of Scouting presenter, I view it as a very important part of the legacy of keeping the program going. All right, so Pinewood Derby. My pack's Pinewood Derby is January 18th. And before I move any further on, another pack came to me, pack 311, which I think has been around 2 years, maybe 3 years. They have asked if there's any pack out there that they can borrow their Pinewood Derby track for January 18th. Unfortunately, my pack, Pack 71, is having our Pinewood Derby on January 18th. So that makes it difficult. And but anyone, you know, that can do that would be great. What we're trying to do is they recognize the fact that Pinewood Derby is one of the high points of the year for Cub Scouts. And they're trying to make it even more special for the boys until they can afford to buy a better track. So I've got a point of contact here for a gentleman that with their pack, and if we can, that would be great to see if it's possible. I know a lot of you guys need to go, well, we need to go talk to our committee and make sure it's okay, and that's great, but I can give at least a point of contact to make sure, and we can see if we can find a way. I'm going to check with my pack and see, we're going to go to a new location, And I'm not sure the size, and if the size is big enough, we may just invite them to join us and be one big Uber pack and have a fun time. The problem is, unfortunately, we're in a much smaller section, so we'll see what we do. But please, they're looking to borrow a track January 18th. Matter of fact, there's a representative back at 311 right there. But why do we think we have Pinewood Derbies? Because they're fun, you bet! No. It is about seeing something from a very beginning of raw materials to the very end of hopes and dreams and actually taking it somewhere. A boy gets a block of wood, 4 nails, and 4 tires. And then his dad works night and day on his car, and it's great. Now hopefully the boy's involved here somewhere, right? But it's about positive attitude. It's about competition, sure. But ultimately, it's about cheering your friends on. Well, man, how did you make that car? Wow, that looks amazing. All the positive of like, this was a fun time. But make sure, a couple things here. Make sure that you get your construction rules out there as soon as possible. And if you don't have the construction rules for the Goose Creek District, let me know because we can get those to you. My pack goes under that one so the winners can move on to the district level competition, which is March 1st. So that way they don't have to rework their cars. But it's a great opportunity for parents and boys to work together in a positive atmosphere of learning to do something. In this case, take a block of wood and make a car out of it. Even if it's just the block of wood with the nails and the wheels there, and it's just the wood with some horrible paint slapped on it, they still had fun doing it. And that's the key. That's the positive attitude, the sportsmanship that comes out of it. It is about the learning experience, but it's about sportsmanship, honesty, and respect. So make sure you do your planning, get your resources set up. Look for ways to talk to all your parents and take care of the ones who are not the more handy parents. There are always going to be some in your packs that don't have any tools, don't have access to tools, have never used tools, or really should never use tools. Right? There are some of those. I know those. These are great opportunities for families to work together too, and the boys to have a great time. In my pack several years ago, one father said, you know what? Anybody wants to come out to my garage and we'll use my bandsaw and we'll use my drum set and we'll use some of my tools and we'll have a great time. And he had like 6 different boys out there, and the boys do all the work they could without losing fingers, and they had a great time. And the look on the faces of all the boys was amazing because they were working together in such a positive atmosphere. Hey, that's cool. How are you doing that? Well, I do it this way. And they learned a skill, and they also had a great time. These are positive moments, and lets us reinforce it. Do you have your boys invite friends to the Pinewood Derby? No, because they don't have a car. Why?
I don't know.
Maybe you do. How many cars do you have in your house? 100, right? I got 3 boys. Every year, 3 cars. Even when they were not Cub Scouting. No doubt I have 20 cars in my house. Okay? And I'll have 3 more this year. So here we go. Bring the extra cars. Let the boys that are, the friends come in, they can compete too. Maybe they're not competing for the pack championship, or maybe they are. That's not the important part. The important part is they're having fun, they're with their friends, and they're learning respect, sportsmanship, and honesty. Right? That's the key. It is a great opportunity for them to come in there and have a fun time. Same thing with the siblings. Have a powder puff race. There are tons of sisters and little boys, younger boys who are dying to race. I have dads who are dying to race too, and every year I swear I'm going to have an open, no rules, no holds barred, let the fathers do whatever they want type thing. But I'm afraid, so I haven't done it yet. Because I'm waiting for, I can see it now, CO2 cartridges and all kinds of crazy stuff, and cars flying, and someone get hurt, tire hits you on the side of the head. But one of these years I'm going to do it. So, these are great opportunities for wonderful memories. All right, you're blue and gold. Not blue and gold. Oh my gosh, we got to start planning for that? Heck yeah, you do. February. 2 months. For some of you, it might be early March. I know there's a couple packs that do it in March. That's still not long. Have you done the planning? Do you have a blue and gold chairman? Someone who's actually planning, oh, I don't know, location? What you're gonna do at it? Whether you're gonna have food, whether or not, entertainment or not? What are you gonna do? These kind of things don't just happen on their own. My pack, we do a year in review video. We do food. We have a usually cater in. This year we're going to try something different. We're going to see if we can find organizations that are willing to donate the food, and we'll mention them, you know, as a sponsor of our Blue and Gold. Why not? We never tried it. But who knows? You know, we have a cake. Yeah, we've moved to cupcakes. We still have something. You know, special food. I always try to work up the best award possible as far as how we're going to provide the awards, because it's a really big deal. You invite all the parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, everybody. It's a great celebration. But it requires planning. Everyone in their best uniform. Maybe you have an inspection before the Blue and Gold. Now, inspection is not to point out, well, your uniform is substandard. It's about an opportunity for the boys to be proud of who they are and what they've done. Great opportunity. Here's the key to a Blue and Gold. Make it special. Invite all family. And find ways to put the boys in the spotlight. Have your dens print off pictures of the places they've been, or things that they've done, or crafts that they've done, or whatever. Have them there, displayed somewhere. Whether they are a centerpiece, whether they are tables along the wall. Give each den a special place to brag. Their brag wall. Here's the stuff we've done. Great opportunity. This was my pack a couple of years ago. We had 200 people. It was huge. And it was really tight. We had a great time, and everyone had a wonderful time. Don't stress though. Get your parents to pitch in. Well, how about resourcefulness? Yeah, why not? Crafts, conservation projects. Maybe it's not too late to tell each one of your dens, hey, design like 2 centerpieces. Pick a theme. I went to a pack one time whose theme, I believe that year was, I want to say it was Chinese New Year. And so they challenged every single one of their den to create 2 centerpieces that were, you know, something to do with Chinese New Year. And one of the dens put together, made this paper dragon thing, and it was awesome. It truly was awesome. It gives the boys an opportunity to try something new and put something out there, and really the level of enthusiasm goes way up when the boys are directly involved, instead of it just being a couple parents coming out there and just throwing out some centerpieces and whatever you used last year. Give them opportunity. All right, how many of you folks use parent pens? Anybody? 1, 2, couple? All right. Parent pens have been around forever. They've been around for about 35 years, if I remember correctly. I remember as a boy, there were no parent pens when I was a Cub Scout, but there were parent pens in Scouting. So when I got a new rank, there was a parent pen, and they would call up, and you'd always pin it on your mom, and you'd feel so proud because you were giving her something too. And you would fumble, and it would be, you know, you felt the spotlight was on you, but at the very end, my mom beamed when I gave her that pen. Cub Scouting parent pens are very minimal expense to allow the boys to get that feeling too, because truthfully, and I use them in our pack meeting all the time to remind the boys that without the support of your parents or their guardian or their grandfather or grandmother or whomever, they could not be doing what they're doing. It's a family thing. I bring them forward, and like, you know, your parents, some days, like everyone else in life, you go, you know, I just don't want to do it today. And your parent goes, you know what, you should. Let's go do this. And the same thing applies with them. Sometimes your parents don't want to do something, and the child will go, well, no, we can go do this. Okay, let's go do it. And the parent has fun. It is the wonderful part of being part of a family to encourage each other, the positive attitude. And so these parent pens work out extremely well there. They're very small, like I said, very small expense. Typically, you're only giving out 1 a year, right? Except for the Bobcat. You know, so 1 year you might get out 2.
And
Parents
Weeblo Zero
can
White.
wear them. What's that?
And the Weeblo Zero White.
The Weeblo Zero White, yeah. So, and they're allow the parent to have a lifelong keepsake. Works out well. All right, so the date for district day camp has been published. You're like, it's December. Why are we talking day camp? There's a display for day camp over there, including a sign-up sheet. Dave Carty can send someone out to give a day camp / twilight camp presentation to your pack, and they do a really good job. I get everybody excited about it. Why do you need to know that in December? Because, unbelievably as it may seem, people are starting to think about their summer calendar. I'm not, but my wife is already. She'll come ask me stuff, and I'm like, what are you talking about? It's not even Christmas. She's like, well, we got to figure it out. We got to get the dates down. We got to figure out where we're going. We got to make the reservations. And I'm like, you just hurt my head now. Saying a lot of words. Same thing applies with day camp. The object is to get as many boys to go to day camp as possible. Why? Day camp is a wonderful opportunity for boys to be outside, tons of activities, scout-based, and these, truthfully, day camps, summer camps, sleepover camps, are where the most vivid memories of scouting come from. Of all my memories of scouting as a boy, my 5 years as a Cub Scout, my 7 years as a Boy Scout, summer camps, by far, are 99% of them. Whether it would be a funny skit, something that happened at camp, a buddy of mine getting bit by a snake, all kinds of fun stuff. Yeah, he got bit by a snake, it was holding on to our hair, and he was just going around. It was great. Yeah, I hate snakes. I really hate them now. But these are fun. These are the kind of memories that are really the most amazing, most vivid. Dave Carty and his crew do an amazing job with our day camp. And so this is an opportunity to get it on their calendar and start it up. Strive to get at least 50% of your boys to camp. Whether it be Snyder, Goshen, or here at Goose Creek. One of the three. Hey, if you can get them to go more than one, so much the better, but at least one of the three. And encourage your parents to be involved as well and to go to these as well. I have so many parents, well, I don't want to take a day off to go to day camp. Just one day. Co-op it with a couple other parents. Go one day. You and your son will have the most amazing time and have tons of things to talk about. It's a full day of doing stuff, sort of guyish. Let's go do some stuff. Let's shoot some BBs and do some fun stuff. It's a great opportunity. Online, I believe they're already accepting registration. I'm not positive about that one yet. I think so.
Is that the wrong date though?
No, that's correct date. That's all right. Oh, I said I got the wrong year. 16 and 20 is the right dates, but 2014 is the year.
Thank you.
Yep.
His son did make the difference.
All right, so we're going to do some breakouts. I'm doing good. A lot of roundtables do breakouts all the time. And truthfully, I struggle every single time on breakouts, how many to do and what not to do. But I like seeing breakouts on occasion because it's a good opportunity for different leaders to sort of talk through ideas, questions, anything that's going on. It's a great opportunity for peer understanding of what, and sort of sharing all the positives and negatives. The, hey, we tried this and that didn't work well, we'll do that. Versus the, oh, this was the best thing we've ever done and we do it all the time. These are great opportunities. The keys to, obviously, these are seeds of things that to talk about in the breakout. You're not forced to say about those. But I do want a couple of reasons I chose them. Webelow leaders. You are now, if you're a Webelow 2 leader, you are now in the home stretch. You're about 4 months away from possible crossover. 4 months. And to get their air of light and such, you need to go to visit some troops. And you also need to make the crossover a very important and very meaningful experience. And it's very neat to talk that through. How about den leaders? Okay, chances are you are cruising into the last third or maybe the last fourth of the rank requirements. And you're going to get it more or less likely if you're like my pack. Your ranks are awarded at the blue and gold. What do you do after that? Hold up your tents and go home? No. You've got to figure out what we're going to do. Now what? What are we going to do? And here's the key. It is so hard sometimes to just reach out to a parent and go, you know what? I know you know how to do this. Can you put together just one meeting? I'll corral the kids. You just talk about the skill. I have a parent who is a great carpenter. Hey, let's work with some tools. Amateur radio. Whatever. Anything. I had a surveyor come in and show how to, they do surveying for engineering, for civil engineering. The kids were riveted. and some of my other parents were like, it seems a little advanced for them. Trust me, they're gonna love it. And they did, because they got to look at some of the gear and they touch it. Things that they've seen and used. Look for your parents to help out. And then lastly, Cub Masters and committee chair, committee members. You know, have you got your succession training in place? How you doing there? Have you looked at your journey to excellence? There are lots of opportunities here that fit with the big picture. Hey, we've tried this, and we're not sure why this is not working. Anyone else got this? So if you don't mind, let's go ahead and do a breakout. We'll do, we'll do 15 minutes. We'll do 15 till 9 to come back for a last slide or two. But to break part, we'll say, how about we have regular den leaders here, we have low den leaders over there, and pack leaders back there. All right? All right. February 22nd, University of Scouting. Everyone's heard of University of Scouting, right? Yeah, maybe. Well, here's the key to University of Scouting. While powwow is about nothing but Cub Scouts, University of Scouting is about the entire program. Cub Scout, Boy Scout, venturing, and also miscellaneous. There is no kidding about 200 courses offered at University of Scouting. It is an amazing opportunity to just learn tons of things. I find that University of Scouting allows me to branch out and learn something new. Maybe I want to know about box cooking, or maybe I want to know something about a camping skill, or maybe I want to find, and it's not just Cub Scout specific. I have all tons of opportunities. So February 22nd, registration is not open yet, but put it on your calendar. It's an all day on Saturday. I know Saturdays are valuable, but this is an incredible opportunity. This is something you definitely should put down.
Is this at the Annandale High School?
Yeah, I'm sure it will be. They are incredibly gracious as far as the facility, and it works out well for the size. It's a huge high school, so. Don't forget, the end of this month, there are new requirements for some of your training knots. Okay? It is not a huge wholesale change out. It's not like all of a sudden what you've been doing absolutely doesn't apply. My opinion, let your folks finish out under the old rule that they've been working on, and then when they move to the next knot, go to the new rules. There's no use going, well, you've been going since September on this, but hey, the rules just changed on it. It doesn't, This is about showing thankfulness of what's going on. Okay, so, but keep up with it for yourself and for every other leader in your unit. Okay? Whether they wear the knots or not, it's good to say thank you in front of the pack.
I asked this last month. I tried to find the new requirements online and I couldn't. I still find the old requirements. But whoever was here last month said, oh, they're online, and I still couldn't find them.
When you do a search on adult leader scout knots, it will usually take you to USS Scouting and a whole bunch of others who have been around forever. And they have the old advancement cards. The only place to find the brand new requirements is to go to scouting.org and you go to adult recognition, and inside adult recognition I think it has knots. So when you go in there, it says, are you a volunteer, are you a parent, are you a scout, or are you alumni? I think there's those tabs on the top. If you go to scout, if you go to leader or volunteer, in there it has on the left-hand side it talks about adult awards and adult resources. It's in there. Also, their search box should find it. However, their search box acts weird. A lot of times we do a search of them, it provides you a billion things that I don't see how I got there. So I never use that. But it'll be in the volunteer area. I tell you what, do me, if you want, on the very back there of my parking lot, write this down with your email address, and I know I found it at least once, and I can find it again, and I can send you the URL.
Okay.
But those were the new ones. Eventually, it will permeate out to the other third-party ones, the ones I trust that I use all the time, which are very user-friendly, like USS Scouting and all these other. These are great guys, and they provide great information. They're just a little bit behind the time on this one little changeover. So. Wood badge, those are the dates. If you cannot make this one, okay, great. There's another one in the fall. If you can't make the fall, put it on your calendar. One of these days you need to choose one, and it's never convenient. It's just like everything else. Oh, it's 2 weekends. I never have 2 weekends. You just need to put it on your calendar and go. It is a great course. It provides wonderful opportunities to meet other scouts. Some of my best friends are scouters that I met on these courses. Dave Carty was my patrol member. Yeah, he and I were patrol mates. I never would have met him otherwise. And he's one of my best friends. And we do tons of things together. He's always someone that I can speak to from the same point of view. I was thinking about this. That doesn't just mean scouting. It gives you a great, even level playing field of same kind of vernacular and same training and same background about communication, about teamwork, about managing conflict, about tons of other things. It's a great opportunity. It's a great course. It's $250 usually, unless there's a couple courses that go free, but it's very low priced, but it's a great opportunity to pick up a ton of experiences and skills. Highly recommend it. Parking lot, it's in the very back. That's for anything you have that you need, have a question on, anything you want to give me for the Facebook site or comments. It's also for feedback on me as far as what do you want to see in Roundtable. Hey, I'm always wanting to see this and you never talk about this. Usually not a reason why. It's probably just a blind spot on my part. And I don't know about it unless you point it out. So the parking lot's a great opportunity for that. Upcoming, kids are out of school December 23rd for the rest of the year. Yay! Do some planning for this. Scout Sunday, Scout Sabbath coming up in February. Find a way for your unit to commemorate it. Okay? If your charter organization is a church or a synagogue, great. If it's not, that doesn't mean you don't. Maybe what you do is you have an outside interfaith, just devotional moment. Whatever, go for a hike. Do something, commemorate it somehow or another. Scout is reverent, and these are a great opportunity to tie that together. Stop, start, continue. Use this tool in your committee meetings, in your den leader meetings. Need to be able to articulate, why are we doing these things? What should we start doing? What should we stop doing? What should we continue to do? It's so easy to get into the mode and just go, okay, we're going to do what we did last year, which is what we did the year before that, which is what we did the year before that. Hey, trust me, the boys are only there for 5 years. They'll never know. Whether they know or not, you as a leader need to honestly give some thought to why you're doing things and maybe how do we spruce it up, because it energizes you. This is a great opportunity. If you cannot put these things into words, then you really haven't thought through why you're doing what you're doing. You really need to put that power behind it as far as why your program runs the way it does. All right, Commissioner's Minute. So, positive attitude. It is so incredibly easy to get your preparation going. Okay, then I've got the meeting. Oh, by the way, I've got work in here. I've got home life. I've got all these kind of things. And it's just so easy to just walk in. And I don't want to say phone it in, but come in at a low energy level. And just absolutely positively come in. There are so many times that I'll come in and I'm like, okay, I've got a pack meeting, but I got to do this, I got to do this, and it's so easy to sit back and go, well, you know what, I'll just do this. Last month was a great meeting, and the next month will be a great meeting too. This one is, I just don't have the time. I have meetings where within about a day before it happens, I will walk that, and that's the mentality I'm in. And then about a day beforehand, which is usually a bad time, not only a day left, it dawns on me, this meeting will never happen again. This moment, the boys are looking forward to, and I want them to exceed their expectations. And by doing anything less than that, I have sold myself short. I don't ever want to believe at the end of a meeting to go, well, he just had an off day. I want to give my all. And I want to show the boys that the difference between the minimum and doing your best is character. That's what I'm demonstrating, and I want to demonstrate every single time. Don't forget to look out for yourself too. You don't have to carry the stone every single minute. Find your parents who can help, another adult leader who can help. If you're a den leader and you want a special guest appearance with somebody, how about a cub master? Cub master can come in and do a amazing little song and dance skit thing that jazzes up a little bit. I know when my den leaders come ask me, I love it. Because truthfully, I have very little responsibility. I just come in here and act crazy, and then I can leave. It's pretty cool. There's lots of opportunities. How about the parents in your dens or your packs that have, they're interesting jobs, or their neighbors are amazing people, or they know somebody, or maybe, I don't know, maybe one of the boys' grandparents has an amazing skill, or was around, I don't know, maybe he was on the carrier when Apollo 11 splashed. You can tell a story. These are really cool things. Don't forget to keep the positive attitude. Doesn't mean that every day that you can't, but the positive attitude means, okay, take a breath, and now how can I make this work, not just by just me and my energy, but everybody's energy. Let's bring it together and show the boys what it truly means to work together and put on a great program. Facebook, doing well. It is a wide open, anyone can post. I moderate it for just content, but anything can be posted there. Anything that's going on with your units you want people to know about. If anyone has a question about anything, anybody, your parents, whatever, about scouting in general or the district, have them post. And we'll get them information, pictures of events you're doing, anything and everything that you guys are doing. This is a way to excite people about, I steal from other units all the time. That was an amazing idea. Let me do that one. My next pack meeting, I forgot, I hate that I cannot give credit to this pack, but I went to a Friends of Scouting presentation 2 years ago, and they had a around the circle Christmas gift. Every boy brought a Christmas gift that was wrapped, that had a value of less, I think it was $5 or less. And then they all sat in a circle, and the Cub Master was telling a story that had the word left and right in it. And every time he said right, the present went to the right one space. So everybody was sort of in a circle. And every time left, back, forward, until eventually, at the very end of the story, obviously the boy doesn't have his own present anymore. He has something else, somebody else. And every single boy was excited about this $5 or less little gift. And it was just so much fun, the anticipation. And I'm like, that sounds awesome. That's what we're going to do for this, for this next pack meeting. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'll bring 4 or 5 extra for those who forget, or if we have new boys that just didn't bring anything. So make sure everybody has a wonderful time, and then we'll go, and they'll remember, and they'll talk about, that was awesome. We should do that again, which is by far how a boy tells you your program rocked. Let's do it again. So be sure to post these kind of things. This is the way we share information across all our different units. And next roundtable is in 2014. Crazy talk. All right. Thank you all for coming. If you do me a favor, fold up these wonderful new cushy chairs. Aren't they cushy? Cushy. I guess they're...